So what's up? Crap, can't even see me. What kind of crap is that? You see me a little better now? A little bit. What's going on? You know, today, what I'm thinking about is, what's the meaning to this life that we live? What is the purpose that we're all here for? I think that I haven't figured it out yet. Maybe I never will, Does anybody ever really figure out what their purpose is? I mean, there's the, select few that maybe know from an early age what they want to do, but do you ever kind of feel like the purpose of life is, it's just to live your life and, in whatever way you want to live your life. Because other than that, what is there? Really, we're born, we live, we go through our childhoods, we have our adolescent times, we all, most of us maybe go through high school, or we have that awkward phase that we have, and then we become adults, and we go through the struggles of being an adult. If you're somebody who has kids, or decides to get married, or you go through all those things. You go through jobs, working every day, getting a paycheck, trying to perform at your job, trying to be the best that you can be, going through all these motions through your life. And if you think about it, you do all that stuff. And then, if you get a mortgage or a house or cars or whatever, maybe you get to 60 or so, and you finally have those things paid off. And then when you're 60, you're like, how much longer are you going to live? So let's say on average, if you're a man, you're going to live to 70 something. So you got like 10, 15 more years. Or let's say you live to 80. You got 20 more years. On average. So you live your life not fully understanding like what you have in front of you, especially your younger years, and I'm not old by any means, but I feel that that's a pretty tough pill to swallow when you look at life that way, because I look at since I've gotten out of high school, that's been 17 years, okay? I've been out, it'll be 17 years this year. And I look back and I say, where the hell did that time go? I have no idea. But here I am, 17 years later. That flew by. Okay. So now I have to say, in 15 years, I'm going to be 50 years old. 50. Which means I'm 25 years away from 60. Which means if I make it to 60, so there's 25 years, so I live to 70. I got 35 years of life left. I get to live my life over again. But my life doesn't seem that far, so I think the purpose would be to live a life that you're satisfied with, that you're happy with, that maybe you're making a difference in other people's lives with, and not just existing, because that's kind of what this world causes us to do, through having to pay bills and stuff. So we all think we have to own fancy cars or big fancy houses, and meanwhile life is just it's fleeting. It's gone. We sit back and we watch all the political nonsense that goes on, and it distracts us from what's really going on, which is our life. Not everybody else's life, or you know, the things that the media want us to think are our life, because that's not our life. We should all be worried about ourselves and our family and what's going on at home, and not everybody else, which I feel like today's society, that's what it causes us to do. You know, a lot of people make decisions on the house they're going to buy for how impressive it looks. You know, who they're going to impress when they take a picture and put it on social media. Who's going to be like, wow, they must really be doing good. Or, you know, get a picture by their new Tahoe, their $60,000 truck that they can't afford, just to look good. I mean, that's not what life is about, looking good. That's not what it's about. It's about, you know, doing what makes you happy. And I can't imagine that trying to impress other people your whole life would be something that would make you happy. People, I don't know, people's opinions, you know, they shouldn't matter. Why do they matter? Why do we care what somebody else thinks about us? Or it's weird that way, you know. I think social media has really brought that out in people, because I don't, honestly, you know, I'm 34, be 35 this year. I don't remember my parents like ever really caring what anything looked like. You know, the cars they drove, and then they drove some old beaters that you could barely start up. Some days, you know, you go out there and be lucky if the dang thing started. Which, you know, I'm no better. I have the same kind of situation sometimes, but it's not by choice. Or it's by choice, I should say. It's not by that's what I have to do. You know, I drive older cars. You save money. You buy a used car, you save money. I already made a video about it. Whatever. So, you know, occasionally you're gonna have problems, but you know, impressing people, I don't know, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. You know, live your life and be happy. You don't need to show the world. It'll be the memories that stick up, you know, up in your head that you can remember. I don't know. Call me an old-fashioned kind of guy, I guess, but I long for that. For that kind of, you know, existence as a person. The old school way. And I lost you. Just that old school mentality of, you know, just exist and live your life and do it the best you can, and, you know, live with integrity and be smart. Don't get yourself into that's all old school. And I wish that, you know, more people would understand that, because I think the world would be a much different place. I seriously, I really do. But so did I get to the point of, you know, what I was thinking of the meaning of life? I don't know. I guess it's whatever you define it as. And as long as at the end of the day you remember, you know, that it's all the choices that you make every day is going to determine where you go in the future and where you are in the present. So think about every decision that you make to do or not to do, or to buy or not to buy, is going to affect you later. You know, in some way, shape, or form. I mean, it's hard to look ahead. Like I was saying, you know, I'm 35, and 15 years I'll be 50. I mean, what am I going to do with myself in the next 15 years? You know, especially, I'd like to be a millionaire. I'd like to be a millionaire. I'm going to try to do it by the time I'm 50. That gives me 15 years. So there's decisions and choices that I have to make that happen for myself. And, you know, and that goes with all the other things in my life. I want to be a good father. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good son. I want to be a good citizen. You know, so there's lots of choices. You know, those are all choices. You can wake up every day and decide you want to be an a-hole. Or you can wake up every day and decide, you know, I'm going to be a nice person. I'm going to help somebody today, and I'm just going to spread something nice to the world. You know, we all have a choice that we're going to make. We go to our job, are we going to work hard, you know, and do it to the best of our abilities, or are we just going to show up, go through the motions, go home, and hope that we get to collect our paycheck every week? I mean, that's just... So, if you're watching this, think about your decisions. You know, what's your meaning to life going to be? Because I guess there really isn't a meaning. It's just what you give it. So what are you giving your life today? You know, where are you going? Are you going nowhere? Or are you going somewhere? I don't know. Just something I'm thinking. So, have a good day, everybody.